Okay. All right. Hackers. I got to tell you, I'm upset, but I don't think I'm as upset as the Democrats are.
Oh, of course.
They got to be really upset.
You know what they're saying? Dag nabbit.
Dag nabbit.
These hackers.
They are not saying Jiminy Christmas,
They're
are they?
saying Jiminy Christmas.
Oh, my gosh. It's that bad. It's that bad.
Oh, these hackers. First,
Yeah.
they get that Dobbs decision.
Yeah.
And that gets leaked.
Yeah.
And now this?
Yeah.
I mean, the Democrats have got to be very disappointed
Right.
in that. Now, I may have said the other day that there was zero chance this would not be leaked. Right? There's no chance.
It wasn't leaked, though.
It's not leaked yet.
It wasn't leaked.
It's not leaked. This has nothing to do with my previous statement because this was a hacker. A hacker who was just like, God, where should I go? Oh, I want to get that Matt Gaetz report.
I bet it's secure. I bet there's no way of me getting it for political purposes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I want to be clear.
Yeah.
This definitely was not a congressional employee of some sort.
No,
we know
was a
that.
hacker.
It's a hacker.
We have no idea who could have gotten into this.
Right.
We have, I bet we've already called the cell phone companies. We can't triangulate anything. All that is corrupted.
No. Well, we do have a name.
Oh, we do.
Do you want to know the name?
Yeah. Adam
The
Schiff?
information was downloaded by a person using the name Atlam Beasley at 1:23 p.m. on Monday.
Not of the Beasley clan.
The Beasley clan.
Oh my gosh, those Beasleys are vicious,
just darn
and
it.
pernicious hackers.
Hackers, the Beasleys.
Yes.
Now, we don't know what the name means. Obviously, I would assume not their real name. Lawyer connected to the case sent an email to the address associated with Atlam Beasley, only to be informed that by an automated reply that the recipient does not exist. They just don't know who this person could be.
Man.
It's just so disappointing.
It's really amazing how we have all of this technology that could track and listen and find anything, every keystroke recorded, but we can't find this hacker.
But we do know almost immediately that it was hacked. It's funny because someone will come in and hack some cell phone providers' information. Billions of records go out of millions of people, and we won't know about it for 6 months. Yet the next day, we have learned all about this hack. It's almost like someone who knew about the hack was able to immediately give that information to the New York Times.
That's crazy.
Wow, these hackers.
Oh,
they're getting more and more shifty by the day, Glenn.
Yeah. Do we know where Sonia Sotomayor might have been? I didn't.
No, it's a good question.
Yeah.
Anyone can be as guilty as the next person. You bring up Sonia Sotomayor, equally, possibly as guilty as anyone else. The janitor here at the Blaze may have done it. Or Sonia Sotomayor.
Sonia Sotomayor, who definitely had nothing to do with the leak of Dobbs. Nothing.
No.
I don't mean to imply that at all.
No.
No,
I doubt
she's just as upset as anybody else about that leaking of the Jobs decision.
She's probably upset about this Gaetz thing, too.
She's probably like, those hackers.
The dagnabbit, they got us again.
Jiminy Christmas.
It's really disappointing that this continues to happen. And, of course, I'm sure just a hacker just knows exactly where to go to find this information. Not certainly maybe, someone who is involved in this ethics report would have the exact knowledge of where this file lived. But the hacking, though.
The hacking.
Yeah. It's probably more hacking than anything else.
It's not somebody on the inside.
Someone on the inside that wants to get this.
Again, with Dobbs, it wouldn't be somebody like a Supreme Court Justice Sotomayor that did that.
No.
You know what I mean?
First of all, absolutely not on the Dobbs thing. As we know. I would be stunned to hear that she or someone from her office was involved in that.
They checked all of everybody else.
Sure
they checked
really
everybody.
They got a magnifying glass out and everything.
Well, they couldn't check the justices because they just wouldn't have done it.
No, they would not have done that.
They're outraged. They're outraged.
Now, I am pretty skeptical that Sotomayor was capable of actually doing this on her own, because she seems to be
I didn't say she
incapable
did
of tying her shoes.
Yeah, I didn't say she did it on her own.
No, right.
Yeah.
But someone.
But
in her
I didn't
office.
even say she
no,
did
you
it.
didn't. I
Right.
want to be clear.
Yeah.
That's
my
not
gosh,
what
that
anyone
would
is
be
insinuating.
wrong.
And in this case, there's definitely no interest.
None.
People who don't like Matt Gaetz, Democrats, and some Republicans, no chance that this was a setup and leaked to the New York Times specifically within 24 hours.
Let me ask you. Now, a convicted felon claimed that he was paying the legal fees of the accuser of Matt Gaetz and controlling her. Okay, a convicted felon. Now, if you don't know, what this whole report is based on, well, the report. I mean, well, first of all, they looked into this. Because there's no reason anybody at the DOJ would want Gaetz out. Because, I mean, yes, he was effective. He was probably the biggest voice against the corruption at the DOJ. However, this report was based on something that came years after the DOJ dropped its investigation. So they investigated, they heard about it, and they investigated. They're like, oh my gosh, this could be there's nothing to it.
Well, they didn't file charges. They didn't necessarily say there was nothing to it. They didn't file charges.
Let's look into this.
Okay.
I don't know, because I haven't seen the leaked report. That was going to tell me anything.
Wait, you're not the hacker?
I'm not the hacker.
All right,
No.
there's one person who's not the hacker.
Sonia Soto? I'm sorry, did I? The report comes years after the DOJ dropped its investigation into the same claims on the grounds that two central witnesses had serious credibility issues. That's why they dropped it. The witnesses had serious credibility issues. Yet these are the same two central witnesses the House Ethics Committee has relied on for its critical report of Gaetz, which has now been hacked.
The hacking. All this hacking.
Yeah. The two witnesses do have some credibility problems. The claims arose from Joel Greenberg, one of the most corrupt Florida politicians of all time. Among the many things the former Seminole County tax collector admitted to as part of a wide-ranging case for which he's currently serving 11 years in prison was falsely accusing a local politician, an opponent of his, Brian Butte, of having sex with a minor. Which is awfully
interesting.
Which is kind
similarities
of,
there.
It's kind of weird, isn't it? Greenberg also reportedly later attempted to frame his attorney with pornographic images of children. One New York Times write-up of Greenberg was headlined, like the Tiger King got elected tax collector. According to the Washington Post, Greenberg admitted to fabricating allegations against a school teacher, a third one, running against him. Greenberg had sent letters to the school falsely claiming the teacher had inappropriate sexual relationships with a student. So, I mean, it's a little credibility problem.
A tad.
Yeah.
A tad.
But
I mean, it's not left to the level of hacking. It's not that type of crime. No, it's not.
No.
It's not a hacking level offense.
Boy,
but it does sound pretty bad.
It's a good thing we don't have all of our nuclear codes online.
I know.
Because
people would hack them.
Anybody could get them. Because this is going to be, you'll see if they ever catch this guy. Oh, but they won't. I know they won't. Because they're so hard to find. Almost as hard as finding somebody who puts a pipe bomb in front of the DNC or RNC. No specific case I'm talking about. Just using those as an example on January 6th.
Sure.
No date is actually being implied here, but let's say it was January 6th.
Just one date.
You'll never be able to find those guys. Never.
No.
We've looked so hard. Can't find them. I bet it's going to be like this with Mr. Beasley.
If only we had hackers to get into the records on that pipe bomb case. Then we could learn something.
We just had hackers who knew hackers. They could hack into the hackers.
Yes, it's all about the hacking. Now, this is interesting in that it does not appear to have been made public at this time.
Oh, no.
So it
Well,
won't
the internet
now.
The internet's not instant.
No. So I'm sure it won't come out, let's say, at some point between now and the confirmation hearings. It won't be leaked because that's not what these hackers wanted, apparently.
And it's not what these journalists want either.
No.
These
No,
journalists,
they do
you've got to
not.
have at
No.
least a couple of sources. And credible sources.
They would be disappointed
I mean?
because that's not journalism.
That's
Hacking is not journalism. They would be disappointed. In fact, they were so skeptical of hacking, they made sure to not report on that Russian disinformation effort on the Hunter Biden laptop. They wanted to make sure
right.
that they didn't know.
There could very well be a political motive behind that.
It could be.
Right.
It could have
We're
been.
not going to take that hacked
I mean,
material.
do we know if these are Russian hackers? Could be. I would say probably is. I would say definitely is.
Well, I'd say definitely not. They're not
okay.
Russian.
They're not Russian hackers
They're
this
not
time?
Russian hackers.
Okay.
I mean,
This time it's more of a whistleblower. Would you say a whistleblower? This is more of a whistleblower feel.
This is probably a whistleblower.
Right.
You know, a Russian hacker would be wrong, but a whistleblower might really be the person that we need to protect. As long as he's blowing the whistle on Matt Gaetz,
Right.
we got to protect him. Blowing the whistle on, let's say, the hacker that might be under the desk of Sotomayor's, office. I'm just saying. I'm just pick any desk. I shouldn't have said her. Pick any desk.
Right.
Okay. Somebody that has a pretty good chance of hacking or just releasing information at other times. Not Sotomayor, but just releasing things. Let's say they're under that desk. That's a whistleblower that needs to be protected. We need to protect them.
These whistleblowers, not like hackers, they need to be protected. This will be interesting here, Glenn. I mean,
will it? I wonder how it will end.
I wonder if this will come out. And it's not out yet, but I feel like there's a possibility these hackers might be so dastardly that they might just release this to a journalist that has to report on it because it's now in the public eye.
Well, it will be.
Yeah, they're not going to have a choice.
It will only be after talking to several insiders that have knowledge of the case.
Now,
they'll verify.
It's important to get the whistleblowers' claims out there, Glenn.
Right, yeah.
And that's why they're always very consistent on this type of information.
Do you know, I'm reading from the New York Times, that even the DOJ was unwilling to exploit the unsubstantiated claims? Yeah. I mean, apart from leaking them to the press.
Right, of course.
Because
really, if you don't file charges against someone for having sex with a 17-year-old in a state where the age of consent is 18, would it be essentially almost the same thing if you just release the accusation to the media?
Well, it would be justice.
It would be pretty close.
It would be justice.
Right,
it would be
justice.
it would be justice.
I don't know what happened with this story. Look, there
are.
are.
What do you mean?
I'm saying about the Gaetz, actual truth on the Gaetz thing. I don't know. He was definitely involved with some shady people. I mean, he's friends with the guy you're talking about, the unreliable witness. He was with him, friends with him. Yeah. And he does seem to be completely unreliable as a witness.
Well, if I might just say, show me your friends, I'll show you your future. Should have picked better friends.
Yeah, it's always a good idea to pick better friends.
Always a good idea.
And Gaetz's explanation of this is basically they have all these Venmo transactions going to these, we'll call them women, and he says this is just, they're exploiting my generosity to some ex-girlfriends. That was his justification for this.
Here's the problem. The DOJ, which we know would love to destroy him, and the Democrats, who would love to destroy him, didn't have enough to bring any charges.
So that's a lot.
That's an awful lot.
It's a lot of
information. Now, that doesn't mean that he's innocent. It just means that the people who wanted to destroy him and have destroyed people on absolute lies decided this one was a little too weak to even charge him.
At least with criminal charges.
So you don't release things from a hacker to destroy people on innuendo or rumors. You think somebody broke the law? Good. Then use the law to try them.
And that's pretty much the entire line, right? Like if he had girlfriends who were on the younger side but still legal, it might go to his judgment, but it wouldn't be a criminal offense. And so, I mean, Mark Wayne Mullen, who's now a senator, had an interview where he was saying that everyone's seen Matt Gaetz, and he's shown all the footage of his naked girlfriends on the House floor, and he's disgusting, and he uses ED medications chopped up into Red Bulls or something. I mean, the interview's bizarre. The reason I bring that up is he just said he's voting to confirm Gaetz. So, like, I don't know what to believe. I really don't.
Well, he's probably Hitler. Or Mussolini. Yeah, but we're going to make friends with him. We're going to make friends with him. If he gets in the DOJ, we'll make friends with him. I'll tell you that right now.